I'm Vandenbossche, and this is Today in History. Today is May 10th, and May 10th marked the beginning of the Panic of 1837. The Panic of 1837 led America to its very first depression. During this time, abundant amounts of silver were coming in from Mexico and China. America was also trading with Britain. In exchange for cotton, we got state-backed bonds. These bonds and other exports helped America fuel their westward expansion, infrastructure development, and other economic developments. So what went wrong?
There were many causes to the Depression, but one of the major ones came from Andrew Jackson, the president at the time. Andrew Jackson really disliked the Bank of the United States, and he saw it as a monopoly for the rich. So what Jackson does is he removes all of the government's funds from the Bank of the US and puts the money into state banks. This forced the Bank of the US to collapse and caused a major panic. In return, banks then raised interest rates and held back on lending money to people, which led to a sharp decrease in the price of cotton.
Cotton was a huge part of America's economy, especially in the South, and without this revenue, many Americans were heavily hit with losses. But it wasn't the loss of money that caused America its biggest problem. It was itself, because Americans became hysterical. Once the Depression began, many people ran to their banks and tried desperately to get all the money out of their accounts. This caused struggling banks to go out of business because they didn't have the money all at once to give out to their customers again. And then this in turn led to more hysteria, with more people worried about their money. More people would run to the bank and try to get it out. And this caused a snowball effect. The most striking part of this, though, is that this depression was very similar to the depression that we'd see 100 years later. During the Great Depression, many similar things happened. There was a bubble that popped, Americans ran to banks and tried to get all their money out, large amounts of hysteria, and it all came crashing down in pretty similar ways. Of course, this is only a brief summary of the two depressions, and many more things went into the causes and effects of it. But if we were in another situation where we were about to hit a depression, would we make the same mistakes again? Or would hysteria be our downfall again? So now I have to ask you, how will you make history?